Hello again. Now this is the last step of our 5-tier approach in analyzing programs. This is the worked example we have been dealing with. In this step now, the 5th one, we shall see how did this particular code emerge. What problem can it fit in so that one could say this particular code is written to solve a certain problem. Let us now see. So far, this particular code was analyzed as a text, it was compiled, and when it was compiled in this environment, we were able to find such a result and seen that this is how the computer solves a problem. So now we are going to try and see how this particular code came into being. If we come to our drawing board or the blackboard, we can think of any scenario which could be extrapolated and fit in the problem of adding 5 and 7. Consider a case whereby my father has 5 goats, and my father has 7 cows. Now tell me how many animals belong to my father? Now, since goats and cows are all animals, I would take 7 plus 5 and say your father has got 12 animals comprising 5 goats and 7 cows. Now, normally, the worked example, such as the one that we are seeing here, emanates from stated problems like the one that we are looking here. Someone will say, my father has 5 goats, my father has 7 cows, and tell me how many animals belong to my father. From this particular problem, then you can now go and write the code. Now, normally, it starts from problem statement to the code. Problem statement such as this one, which brings about the code. But again, we can start from a hypothetical code to problem and from problem to code in order to understand the relationship between these two. Now, this one brings us to the end of our discussion concerning variables, the meaning of variables in programming, the declaration of variables where we have dealt with the integer types, data feeding in variables, data processing in variables, and data outputting in variables. Again, you will appreciate that we have been able to see worked examples in text mode, and then the same worked examples have been compiled as the second step. The third step, we are able to visualize the same code using physical models to mimic the computer memory, and the same code was visualized using RAM diagrams mimicking computer memory again, and we are able now to see how this particular worked example emanated from a stated problem such as this one. For now, that is more or less how programs can be analyzed and how programs can be understood. And this one brings us to the end of the first part of our first chapter. And now before we go into our second part of the first chapter, I would stop here and thank you all for listening to me. For now, let us come to an end and stop here.